The unsettling intimacy between brothers Lachlan and Saxon might mark the start of something truly dangerous. Here's why. The two had very different reactions when replaying what happened. Saxon was so disgusted that he literally threw up, while Lachlan, though shocked, didn't seem repulsed. And honestly, that's not surprising, especially since we've already seen him get aroused by his brother in earlier episodes. For Lachlan, this wasn't just a mistake, it was something he had likely been waiting for. And that's exactly why Saxon might feel violated. He might realize that Lachlan didn't just go along with it, but had actually wanted it to happen. That could mess with his head in a way that goes beyond guilt. It could turn into rage. How this could make Saxon the killer. In the trailer, we hear the chilling line.
Every one of us has the capacity to kill.
And let's be real, Saxon doesn't seem like the obvious choice for a killer, which actually makes him more likely to be one. We also see him telling his father, "I am nothing without success,"
and I can't handle being nothing.
which strongly suggests he's just found out they're going broke. And this couldn't have come at a worse time. At this point, Saxon is drowning in shame and anger. He's disgusted by what happened with Lachlan, furious at his father for ruining their financial security, and overall spiraling into a dark mental state. That's when everything clicks. He decides to end it all, but not before taking down the people he blames for his misery. He kills Lachlan because he feels violated and can't stand the thought that his own brother wanted what happened. He kills his father because he's furious that he let the family go broke, making everything worse. He kills himself because, after all that, he's disgusted by himself and can't live with what happened. Greg and Belinda's twisted deal. In the previous episode, Greg invited a terrified Belinda to his party, but she wanted nothing to do with it, fearing he might kill her. However, in the trailer, we see Zion encouraging her to go and hear what Greg has to say. And let's be real. If the White Lotus has taught us anything, it's that curiosity can be dangerous. It's likely that Belinda actually did attend the party and listened to Greg. But what exactly did he say? Back in episode 5, Greg found out that Belinda has a son. And throughout the season, there's been a huge emphasis on just how much she loves him. So what if Greg decides to use that against her? Instead of outright killing her, he might sit her down and strike a deal. He offers her millions to finally start her dream wellness center, something she's always wanted. But there's a catch. If she ever opens her mouth about Tanya's murder, Zion dies. This puts Belinda in an impossible position. Does she choose justice for Tanya, risking her son's life? Or does she stay quiet and take the money, ensuring Zion's safety but letting Greg walk free? From the very beginning, I've had a strong suspicion. What if Jim is actually Rick's father? We've been told that Jim was a good guy, but what if that's just a lie? Remember Greg and Timothy's conversation? They said that people only come to Thailand for 2 reasons: to look for something or to hide from something. My theory? Jim came to Thailand to hide. He faked his own death so that whoever was after him would stop looking. He then took on a new identity and started a fresh life. But now, with Rick unknowingly crossing paths with him, the truth might finally come out. This revelation would completely shatter Rick. For years, he believed his father was a good man who didn't deserve to die. But if Jim really is his father, then everything Rick thought he knew was a lie. Of course, Rick won't kill him. This isn't that kind of story. But the emotional fallout? That's going to be brutal. Mook seems too good to be true. She's clearly way out of Gaytok's league, which raises some serious doubts about her true intentions. Given the nature of this show, I have a strong feeling that she's going to betray him. My theory is that Mook is actually working with the other bodyguards. She's staying close to Gaytok to get security details and pass them along to her bodyguard friends for some criminal activities. I also have a feeling that she was involved in the robbery. You notice how she's always so interested in Gaytok's work? Like when he was called into that meeting, she was practically demanding to know exactly what was discussed. That's not casual curiosity. It feels like she's gathering intel for something much bigger. She cannot be trusted. Some fans have speculated that Mook could be the killer, but I don't think that's the case. She might be involved in some way, but not directly as the murderer. Speaking of people who may be working with criminals, let's talk about Fabian. I have a hunch that he's pretending to be oblivious, but he might actually be one of Greg's people. It's possible that Fabian is there to protect Greg, which would explain why he refused to help Belinda when she revealed Greg's dark past. But the connections don't end there. Let's think about the White Lotus itself. In previous episodes, the old ladies mentioned how the hotel is not easily accessible by non-guests. Yet, Greg and his girlfriend aren't guests at the hotel, but they are allowed to be there every single day without any trouble. They must have someone on the inside helping them bypass the rules. And that someone could very well be Fabian. This would explain how Greg got access to the hotel's books, where he found Belinda's personal details. Think about it. How else could a non-guest have access to such confidential records? Timothy doesn't have many choices left. It's either death or poverty. His mental state has clearly declined due to extreme stress and the constant use of pills. In such a fragile state, it's very likely that Timothy could snap and go on a killing spree, ultimately ending it with a murder-suicide. Saxon has already stated that he's nothing without success, and Victoria has expressed that she would rather die than be poor. This makes it plausible that Timothy could kill both of them, seeing it as a way to free them from their suffering before taking his own life. However, there's another possibility. Timothy could choose to accept his situation and find peace at a monastery, retreating from the chaos. Another option to consider is the potential for Timothy to team up with Greg. We've seen the two of them being friendly with each other, so what if Greg recruits him? Timothy might end up staying in Thailand, working under Greg, which would offer him survival, but at the cost of his independence and peace.